Welcome, friends, global family. Today, I'm so grateful to be joined by our sister Letizia Xiuh.
Xiuh.
Xiuh. That is her name, or what she goes by. But Letizia is on the medicine path. She's sharing with our brothers and sisters many great blessings and lessons from her culture, her lineages, and she's just a beautiful soul that I'm very grateful to have connected with through another sister, Hamima, and we happen to be in Mama Bali at the same time.
Yes.
So grateful to have you sharing with the community. Look, I'd love for you just to speak about, I know this question is interesting, but who you are, but it's more, what lights you up, what inspires you, what gets you out of bed in the morning and excites you about this beautiful life. Like, what do you love about being Letizia?
That's such a nice question. It's very fun. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me in this space and sharing my heart, my experience of this life. And yeah, it's a very good question. What wakes me up in the morning, and the first thought that comes to me is self-mastery, but also all that comes with it, which is the care of our relations, the care of our bodies, the care of our discipline, the care of our boys, of the gifts that we have given. So yeah, this is what it wakes me up in the morning, knowing that I have a new opportunity, a new day to be better than what I was yesterday. And even if it's just like a little step extra further, and I can see instantly the results in my life, in the way I sing, in the way I walk, in the way I relate with others as well. So I think, yeah, it's like creating a life as coherent as possible and share it with all the people around me.
Beautiful. Well said. The theme of what I'm intending to create with these interviews is celebrating or honoring Earth warriors. And, you just touched on the importance of care, of our relationships, of our communities, of the Earth, and waking up each new day with this intention of self-mastery, of being better, even if it's just a little bit. But what are some of your practices at the moment, some of the things that allow you to tap into that frequency of, being an earth warrior, being in harmony, being in reciprocity? What are some of the things that our listeners, can share or hear of what helps you to plug into that each day?
Well, the most important for me, it is the one that how can I keep training myself to be in the present moment and not in what happened in my past or what it could be in my future, but like really sinking in the present moment and being aware of what is around me, breathing at the same time as me. And how can I take care of the things that are closer to me that may need some support or help or need. And those are the things that I feel like are the most important, at least for me in my experience. And yeah, that give us also the attention, the sensitivity to our surroundings, to make sure that we are actually listening, that we are cultivating the silence inside and outside as well, to kind of tune in with what is the voice that want to come through us. The practices I am rooting in myself is, first of all, is breathing. And how can I breathe consciously each breath. It is a very beautiful challenge because you don't really have the capacity to be aware of each one of your breath during the day. But if we cultivate that discipline of breathing consciously, at least in one part of our day, I have seen how that allows me to sing better. How I can use the breath in the present moment to give a response instead of a reaction. And how can I use my breath to use my voice and my mind, my heart in a coherent alignment. And I think that's the most important thing, also to cultivate relations and the strength inside of us to be warriors of earth. It's not necessarily bringing so much of the fight and so much of the violence, that it could be implicit in the word warrior, but it would be more like the endurance and the willing that we have to be present, to show up for ourselves, for our families, for the ones that trust in us, for our gifts, for our music. In this case, my music, it's part of my great anchor to do all of those other practices.
I just want to take that in a little bit, because so many points there that I could lead to the next, step. And that's what you mentioned. And I love that analogy of, what's the next step? I think we can get so caught in, how can I change the world? How can I overthrow the system? How can I heal my lineage and for generations and all of these things? But simplifying it to, what's the next step today, now, in this moment. And you touched on the breath. In Quechua, it's same. In other parts of the world, they have, chi, prana, all these different connotations of the breath. And the thing with the breath that I love is it's so simple. It's free, it's infinite, it's, scalable, all the things. We just have to learn to breathe better. And so breathwork's obviously something that we, use on our path as earth warriors, as wisdom keepers, as medicine people. But for you, Letizia, what was sort of the catalyst for you to step out of maybe the mundane, the ordinary, the program that I think you were in from our conversations of like, who were you before you started on the path as a curandera or medicine woman? What was that life like? And what was it that helped you move into, I feel, your authentic truth and who you came here to be? So can you touch on, now a little bit of past, present, and maybe, where you're going next?
Yes. Yeah, I come from a very dysfunctional connection of self-love and love for myself. Like I grew up in a loving family, although I came with this program of unworthiness, not fully deserving, worthy, so. Yeah, like I was in a moment of my life of like, this is it, like this is life. Is that it? Like I don't really want to be here. And then of course the master plants found me, my path, and I found her, especially the grandmother that it's been such a great teacher for me for more than 15 years. So I went through my own process of death and rebirth many times with her, just trusting the path. And once I knew her, I knew that I didn't have to kill myself or to disappear from this earth, that I was saved, and that I just needed to stick into that path, into this path, and just pay attention and do my homework and listen to what is the guidance in order for me to keep transforming it. It is a very humbling process. It demands from us to deconstruct. It demands to kind of shade our identity or whatever we think we are.
Dim our light.
Yeah, and being like open to change and to actually understand that we are not what we think we are, or we are not that person that we think we were, and that we don't have anything to hold as a this is, and then you just stay on it stuck somehow. That this work with master plans specifically needs a lot of allowance to be different. To each breath you can be a different person, like it's like the river. They say you never drink from the same river, so we are never the same person, like with every breath we change. And master plans being like my teacher, they taught me how to sing, how to play guitar, how to heal myself, how to keep walking this earth connected to her, connected to the elements. How can I be more loving to my relations, and how can I take care of them in a better way? And in this moment, I just recently sat with her here in Bali. It was so special. She's been teaching me lately how to manage my energy. Like, I recognize I have some stagnated energy in my body. And I am seeing it, and I am observing, like, what is the emotional charge, what is the emotional accumulation that I'm having, and please teach me how to manage that. So she's been teaching me in a very creative way how to use my voice, how to use my energy, my body, the movement, how to create a discipline that enhances the flow of prana, energy, ki, however we want to call it. No? There is a life force flowing through us that society, school, inherited belief systems, limiting belief systems have us in a different flow of what is our true nature. So the work with these masters is to really reclaim our sovereignty and reclaim our capacity to heal ourselves, to manage our energy and our bodies, and ultimately just to create harmony and beauty and longevity and joy until you are 120 years old, like that would be the idea, that we can get to see our great grandsons and daughters and teach them what we've been learning in this lifetime.
Beautiful. There's so much there that it's like, we'll go there, no, we'll go there, and we'll go there. So I want to start with one, and then I'm going to circle back to the next question. But the thing that I wanted to share was, you mentioned the river and not drinking from the same river twice. But I've heard this prophecy, which I'm sure you've also heard about. I think it's from the Native American Indians, of we're in this river now flowing, like as a humanity, as a consciousness, as a group, and the river's flowing very fast now, and we're all in that river together. It's like we're a drop in that river. And if we're getting, scared or in fear or afraid about everything that's happening around us globally, with political, with government, with, fear like tactics, we want to grab hold of the shore, and we want to try and swim, and we want to try and, find safety, and we want to grip at, all the things that we think are going to be important. But in this fast flowing river, we actually just need to look around at who's with us and who's beside us. And, right now, Sean, who was born in a small little town in Australia, and Letizia, who was born in Venezuela, who has spent time in Peru, who's now based in Costa Rica, who's in Bali, but we are so connected and interconnected, as a family. And so what do you feel is happening for us as a humanity at the moment? I know it's big, but I'm not sure if you saw, or if the people listening or watching could see. I'd be very surprised if they could hear, but a couple of butterflies were just flying around us as we were talking, and we're going through this metamorphosis or this big transformation. But what does it mean for you? What does it look like for you? Like, where are we as a humanity, and what is happening?
I wish that I would have all the questions, all the answers. I feel like within my own experience in this life, like I go through all the span of emotions, like mixed emotions, joy with sadness, and fear with hope, and trust with distrust. And I feel like what it's been my call to point my arrow to, it's equanimity, as well as the sovereignty of my emotions, as well as the stoicism, and how can I manage these emotions, understanding that there is dark and there is light continuously dancing in this world and inside of us. And if we either chase one and push one another away, then it will always be that kind of clash
and separation.
Common separation, not understanding that we are actually both. I feel like the hero for me in my experience has been music. Music connects us with our own vibration and the vibration of the universe. Like everything is made of sound. So how can we come back to the very essence and root of our very existence understanding that we are humans and that we can avoid feel all of these emotions. It is actually part of being alive. And my challenge, my personal challenge, is how to keep present to it, how to be a witness as well as mother myself, father myself, in those moments when I need that. I am scared. What is going to happen in the world? How can I help? How can I change the world? And I remember, I think Gandhi used to say that, no, like if you want to see the change in the world, change yourself first. And I think that's a powerful statement that has so many layers that we can go through in a lifetime, understanding in our own skin what it takes to change ourselves and see that change in the world. But it's also important to recognize that these times are calling us back into family, into community. The Native Americans, the Amazonian tribes, our ancestors, people that has been working with the earth and the traditions and the medicines for so many generations, are coming into light to teach us, like, hey, we need to reconnect again with the earth, with like the mycelia that it's in the earth, that it's also amongst us, like humans. We are already a mycelium. Mycelium, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And how to come back to that reconnection that we are one family, and that our prayers are always being heard as soon as we really connect with the divine blessings for everybody. It's not about our personal desires anymore. It's more about how we can really expand the blessings into all the people. It doesn't matter what they did. I don't think it's relevant anymore, because yes, there's gonna be always war. There's gonna always be rapes and situations that are really painful for all of us, humanity. But if we choose to put our focus there, then we cannot keep feeding that. So what is the thing that we need to focus on?
Love.
These times? Yeah, love, healing, forgiveness, connection, support to each other, to know that we belong to this same earth, that there's nowhere else to go, and that this is our family. And ultimately, all of our traumas and our wounds are all about relations. Relation with the food, with the earth, with the work, with the social media, with ourselves, with each other. And so how to look into that and really come back into our blueprint, which is love.
Would you like to have some water?
Yes.
And a fan? Because we can do what we want to do. Short drinks break, brought to you by our sponsors, Mother Nature and Madrecita Agua.
And Bali coconut water.
Now, Letizia, you mentioned in your last question about all I heard was the grandfather, and I remember you telling me yesterday how through working with the master plants you had this reconnection with an ancestor or a grandfather who was already on the other side or transitioned, and it was made really clear to you that this was your path, and you had maybe unfinished business with what he was here, participating in with ceremony, with medicine work, with being a wisdom keeper. What was that experience like, if you care to share with the audience? And why is it important to you that we continue to preserve and stay connected to these ancestral traditions?
Yeah, my grandfather. Yeah, it was a very unexpected appearance that he had when I was just starting my work with master plants. It was very scary in the beginning. I couldn't really understand it until I actually faced it. Instead of running away from it, I chose to face it and ask, what is it that you want to share with me? And then that started like a beautiful relationship with him. So yeah, I believe that we are all sharing this life with our ancestors. Like we are carrying them in our DNA, in our blood. We come from that. It took thousands of people to love each other and be born and make love in order for us to be here today. So that's something that I've been always kind of having present in my work, and how I feel the support of it. Although like what happened with my great grandfather 5 generations before me is, imagine that you are using this lifetime and you gather all of these tools and all of this knowledge and all of this wisdom with very deep and beautiful tools and connection with traditions, plants, wisdom inside of us. And then you don't have any legacy. And everything just stays suspended. Stops. Yeah,
It doesn't stop, but
until someone
pause.
until someone plugs that connection and kind of give it the continuation to that thread. So that's what I feel it happened with my grandfather. He didn't have like a direct transmission to someone after him, and it kind of got paused in the astral, let's say. And then I pressed play, and I started to understand through him and through his experience in the astral what he was actually studying and learning in this life. As well as his sister, she was healing with voice. So she was singing into babies to liberate the air stuck in them. You know, like, so those are things that I found out after with stories in my family, and I said like, I love this and I want to work with this. So I took on, and it's been a very challenging, beautiful journey. Like, I wouldn't choose to do this by myself, like, oh, I want to do this and I want to be a shaman, and I want to serve these powerful plants, and I want to, be behind the altar. I wouldn't choose it. I actually push it a few times because I feel I perceive just the tip of the iceberg of the depth of the work with these plants. And I'm actually very humble and respectful about it. And I just call myself a servant. I'm not a shaman. I love to help people to heal themselves and to find their strength, but it's not something that I am doing. Yeah, it's something that I am accompanying you. I am holding your hand. I am perhaps giving you some tough love if you need it. Like, hey, get your structure. Come back to your center. But I'm not healing you or doing. Nobody can walk this path for you.
That's right.
Yeah, it is a path that you need to choose for yourself to walk. And yeah, my teachers have taught me many beautiful things in this lifetime. How to like, my first dieta was Don Jose Campos, and it was a dieta that is usually to treat cancer, cat's claw. It's not that I had cancer, but that's what he gave me.
For how long were you working with cat's claw?
12 days.
So just cat's claw?
And we have ceremonies with the madrecita every other day. But yeah, I learned in that dieta was my first dieta, and I learned to empower myself. Imagine being in the middle of the jungle alone, very scared, and surrounded by all darkness, and there's no one to help you. There's no one to blow you mapacho. There's no one to hold your hand. There's no one to tell you anything.
Hold your hair back.
Nothing. Hold your bucket. Nothing. It's you and the jungle, and you are super scared. So where comes from the willing and the strength to shine light upon you and feel yourself back home and protected, instead of falling into despair, into anguish? So that was my first lesson in the jungle, bringing myself up into the light from the very scariest bottom of the darkness, and how to bring myself back into trust and into calm. So yeah, it was impressive for myself, like I remember it now, and I was such a child, like so young and so in beginning of my path, and sitting inside of my temple like Pachamama, Wakantanka Tunka Shila, and praying hard, because it was a very scary place to be. So this is what, like, teachers guide you to do this, but the only way to learn it is experiencing it your own skin.
Embodiment.
Yeah, embodiment, self-sovereignty, empowering, knowing that you are your best guru and your best protector, and that's what it actually takes. A warrior of light, a warrior of the earth is like, no matter that I'm aching, no matter how scared I am, I'm gonna just put myself together and show up for the children, for the ones that need my protection, for the ones that need me to help, to hold them and to take care of them.
Wow. I'm welling up with sweat, but I'm also welling up with just appreciation. You shared in there about, I'm not a shaman, I'm a guide, I'm there to support. And people, I think, in the West, in Western countries, everyone has this idea of, what a shaman is. But I think, something that you summarized beautifully there is people don't see or appreciate or understand the level of commitment and self-accountability and integrity that is required to really, in the best possible way, walk the path, of medicine, of a medicine keeper. And it doesn't just come easily. There, of course, like with everything, of course, there are going to be people out there in the world who believe that they are, the one creating the experience. They're the guru. They're the one that's, making this happen. And it's not to say they're not doing good work, but in my own experience, and something that I, value and honor about you, is your commitment to the path. And it doesn't necessarily come with the most amazing accolades and validation and, a massive business. It's truly like authentic to the heart. And for me, this whole idea of Earth Warriors, which I'm attempting to, guide as a part of this interview and podcast, is to live from the heart and to lead from the heart. So for the listeners, for the people who have, journeyed with us today and followed along with these short, anecdotes of your life, what can somebody be doing at home, right now, to really honor their own process, their own path, where they're at? What's something you would suggest of, how to start to show up for themselves?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. The things that have been working for me, it's to kind of keep myself very close to the earth and nature. It's something very, very important. Using your voice and singing songs, it's amazingly powerful, even if it sounds silly or simple, but like sometimes I can be all day walking around the house, taking showers and doing homework, and just making sounds and expressing my heart, my feelings. Like sometimes if I feel sad, I just just to voice it out. And I feel it's important also that we rest in the kindness to ourselves. Be gentle with yourself. Like there's a lot going on right now in the world, and there is a high speed. The pace has increased incredibly for the last few years. So how to slow down? It's a very good focal point for us to
intention.
to put our attention, our intention, how to slow down intentionally, how to share more time with our families and the people that we feel inspired with or uplifted. Hug people.
Hug people.
Yeah, and as much as possible, just like really follow the call of challenging yourself, coming out of your comfort zone every once in a while to see what is there for you to keep working, to do not bypass or diminish your emotions, your process, just to give it a nest, to kind of like cradle it and yeah, take it as a sacred, serious, fun. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride.
Yes.
My next question was going to be about life is a ceremony, but let's go with enjoy the ride. It's like it doesn't always need to be like, you know, your demonstration before, like Pachamama, Wakantanka, like singing. It could be, you know, the way you approach the barista at the cafe could be a ceremony. It's like, how could you light up the person, you know, in the shop that you've never met before? It doesn't always need to be like this incredible, like eccentric thing to be in sacred, you know, reciprocity, to be in harmony. And, you know, with that in mind, if we see and focus on the challenges and the problems and what humanity is experiencing in politics and war and whatever, we can just sort of get pulled off our path. So what can we do as a collective now? What do you think at this present time, July 2024, we're getting very close actually to the end of July, but what can humanity do together? Like, if you were just to give us a focus, I know it's just like a big thing, but what can we come back to get through and to really be living in this beautiful energy of love? What can we do as a humanity?
Pray. To pray. I feel like that's my real anchor inside of my heart. It's like prayer. The prayer I also read in this book, the smell of the wet soil, and they talk about grief. There's so much grief right now in the world. It's like we are getting choked of grief. There's so much pain, there's so much tears, there's so much sadness that when come through our bodies, you know, like, so in this book they were mentioning how grief, it is the food for prayer, and how grief can be transformed into prayer. And you see it in the Native American First Nations, these songs that they have, you know, it's like crying, it's like strong prayer for humanity, for all the children and our generations.
I think as well, like you mentioned the Native Americans, but the Maori in New Zealand, and they have a funeral like procession. They keep the body like, you know, out for a few days, and they walk and travel with the body, and everybody's wailing and singing and and
there's like a professional criers.
Yeah,
and that's what you were also mentioning about what we can keep from these traditions and why we keep them, is because it works. It worked with the connection they had with spirit, that we have lost it. We have lost it because the world keeps changing. So how we can keep our roots in the ground. And one of the beautiful things of what the First Nations of all around the world can teach us is to come back to our roots. Which is ultimately the core of our prayers. And in order for you to receive divine blessings, the best way to receive them is to wish them. So how we cultivate that warmth of heart, that it's open enough to be able to wish divine blessings to other. That is not just for you and your own consumption, like, but that you can wish the best for the other one that is your related one. So prayer. Prayer and have fun, because even if it's heavy in these times, I feel like to remind ourselves to do not take it so seriously and to really do our best to bring some joy into what it's already heavy, and forgiveness, and
dance it out,
check it out, sing it out, cry it.
It's beautiful.
Scream it.
That's all the beautiful stuff, and it's as simple as that. Like, I remember, who knows where it came from and if it's actually true, but it sounds awesome. It's something about a man who was ill went to see a shaman, and he went to the shaman about his liver. He's like, oh, it's my liver, can you help me? And the shaman asked him 3 questions, which was, when did you last sing? When did you last dance? And when did you last play? Or something like that. He's like, that's why you're sick.
Yes.
Not because of this or this or this. It's like, you're not living, you're not having fun.
Yes.
So to summarize, oh my God, we have to look at
Yes,
the
I saw it. It
mantis.
went from there to there.
Yeah, we've got
That's
this amazing praying mantis just hanging around at the bottom of the camera tripod.
Yeah.
That's, you know, this is so beautiful and connected to Pachamama here. Like, it's similar to the Amazon in many ways. These places are where we remember that connection. It's where we remember why we came here, what we came to be a part of. And for me, I'm really excited about what's coming, what we're a part of as a global community that is just growing and growing. And when I say growing, it's more recognizing and recognizing. We're celebrating each other's gifts, we're supporting each other, we're co-creating, you know, we're coming up with new solutions to old problems. And Earth Warriors, for me, is all about that. It's about, doesn't matter what race, religion, what creed you live by, what culture you come from, what lineage, we're all in this rainbow prophecy together, where this generation now, I feel, is really paving the way for the next generation. And I even look at my, you know, my 3-year-old stepdaughter, who is just, she's always walking around the house singing. You know, she's always singing. Sometimes I even film her. It sounds like she's singing light language. Like, the things that she's saying, I'm like, it's not English, it's not Spanish, it's not Peruvian. Like, she's saying something else. But these kids now, like, they're the ones that are really going to accelerate, I believe, this awakening process, where because maybe we're doing the heavy work and the heavy lifting, and we're chipping away and chiseling at our pain and our, you know, process, it's allowing these children to come through pure. You know, they love, they're sensitive, they feel everything, they feel animals, they feel other children, they feel people. And that, for me, is the biggest blessing with the work. It's like, we have this opportunity to tap into these master plants, to these ancient technologies that have been around forever. And through these master plants, we're allowing that transmission to happen to these children.
Yes,
you know?
Definitely. I can feel it and see it. And this has actually been my prayer. Like, how can I use this lifetime to create a beautiful, harmonious home for the 7 generations to come, so they don't have to go through some of the things that I went through, and I had to dedicate a lot of years to heal that in order to feel the flow of my creativity. And how by us working on those things and creating a beautiful home for them, they can just allow the creativity to flow from very early ages, and bring even more creativity to the world, no? Like, more care for the waters, more care for the air, for the earth, how we pray with the fire, to come back to the real essence of this life and to reset what we think we need. Because in order for us to be alive, we really just need the 4 elements, to be honest. So if we really go simple and humble, we just need the 4 elements, and anything that comes on top of that, it's already a blessing. So it kind of connects us further with gratitude if we come from that ground, no? Like, so giving a child the opportunity to be themselves without the inherited limiting beliefs, without the inherited fears,
homogenize them and
control and programming, but allow them to teach us how to liberate ourselves and unlearn things. Always with the reciprocity and respect, of course. We can learn so much about our creativity and our capacity to manifest things with them.
Absolutely, they're beautiful teachers, children.
And it's so nourishing already to see that.
So much joy and play just from being around children. So we need to be children as well. We need to have fun.
We need to come back to that,
you're going to be singing medicine songs at Dragon Tea Temple in Ubud.
Yes.
So I don't think our audience will get the memo for that, but you have some other exciting things coming up. Where are you off to next? What are some of your next steps on your journey? And how can people find out more about Letizia Xiuh?
Yoo-hoo. Yes. I am opening up a completely new path for me by recording my music in this moment. It's been a beautiful journey. It's been very humbling and vulnerable. So I putting myself out there for the very first time, coming out of the darkness of the ceremony and coming out in the world full light.
And now you are doing Pachamama Wakantanka.
Yes, exactly. In Spotify. So yeah, like I will really appreciate any help, support with my campaign. I am right now crowdfunding in Indiegogo.
I'll share the links.
Yes, we are on our 40% and we have still 1 month left. It's so beautiful to see it, and I'm also detached. I know that I will be going to do the best with all the support that I already received. And we've been recording in this beautiful home with amazing musicians, and yeah, I'm so excited to share much more of what is coming.
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, follow the link and share whatever you want in the campaign, or just spread the word.
Then you're off to Greece, Colibri Festival.
Colibri Festival in Greece from the 4th to the 9th of August, where I'm going to be co-creating with my brother Rayo and Molly Mendoza in the opening of the festival.
Beautiful.
And then I'm going to be having a beautiful concert with my soul sister shi-uh. And we're going to also have a workshop.
Beautiful. That's in Poland or at Colibri?
No, that's in Colibri.
And then
Poland. We're going to have a sweat lodge, a concert, and a workshop.
Great.
And then I'm coming back to my sweet South America, Central America of my heart. I miss you so much.
And we'll see you in Australia very soon.
Yeah, beautiful family growing in Australia. I'm looking forward to meet this land for sure.
We would love to see you there. Just one last parting piece of Letizia, something you'd like to share with the listener. Could be a word, could be a phrase, anything that you care to share. And then we will close our interview today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's been such a pleasure, and it's a beautiful journey I am going through right now, and I just want to say I am with you all, and I know that there's a lot of people right now also walking beside me. We are in this together. You're not alone. We are not alone. We are always together. And it's such a pleasure to be connecting with so many people around the world doing this work. So I'm here in full support of the growth of everybody that needs some sisterhood time or just like a warm hug. I'm very active in Central America with voice medicine workshops, teaching songs, teaching how to compose songs, how to use your voice, how to work with the plants. So I'm very active, and so if you feel the call, just reach out. I'm here to support this growth. And thank you so much for receiving me in your homes and in your heart. And blessing.
Thank you. Thank you for being an Earth Warrior.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Sweaty hug.
Thank you.